Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is a third-person action video game that was released in 2010. It was developed by Beenox and published by Activision. It was released for the PC, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, and Nintendo DS. This was a Spider-Man story that dove a little bit into the multiverse, or even Spider-Verse, before many other mediums had done it. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions begins with a confrontation between Mysterio and Spider-Man. Mysterio is trying to steal an artifact known as the Tablet of Order and Chaos. However, Spidey accidentally shatters the artifact, which causes all the dimensions to weaken. This causes Spider-Man and others like him to retrieve the artifact's parts, which are now scattered along 4 different dimensions, before an even bigger catastrophe occurs. The developer Beenox was founded in the year 2000 by Dominique Brown in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada. During the years of 2003 to 2006, Beenox wasn't creating many games. They were essentially used as a porting house, which is the process of adapting software for the purpose of achieving some form of execution in a computing environment that is different from the one that a given program was originally designed for. Now, what does any of that mean? I do not know, but Beenox would return to game development in 2007 when they released the B-movie game, which would kind of be a staple for them, as they also developed Alien vs. Monsters in 2009, which was also a movie-to-video game adaptation. But finally, during 2010 and 2011, they would develop an original story with Spider-Man, Shattered Dimensions, and Spider-Man Edge of Time. Other notable works from Beenox included the Amazing Spider-Man game series adapted from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, as well as assisting in the development of Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and many more Call of Duty games. And as of 2023, Beenox remains open and a part of Activision. Dominique Brown, the founder, however, left the company back in 2012, but Beenox is still doing extremely well, even opening a second office located in Montreal. The reception for Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was decent, to be completely honest with you. On Metacritic, it received a 68 out of 100 for the PC, and a 74 out of 100 for the PS3, and a 76 out of 100 for the Xbox 360. Despite these reviews, audiences loved the game for its plot, extremely fun gameplay, and many callbacks to the history of the web slinger. Others would go on to say that although the game wasn't as artful as Arkham Asylum, it was way more fun. At the time, many believed it was some of the best work ever released for a Spider-Man game. They loved the unique approach of visiting 4 different Spider-Man in 4 different worlds. And really, as time has gone on, I feel the game's aura or legacy has only gotten better. Many people look back at Shattered Dimensions as one of the greatest Spider-Man games ever made. It's so positively talked about and takes you back to a more comic-y type of Spider-Man game. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions sold about 140,000 units after its first week of release for all major platforms. Sadly, I don't have the full number or the full history of sales over its entire lifespan, which is a bummer because I would assume that the game sold well overall because it has a Spider-Man story, of course, but it also did well enough to warrant a sequel the following year. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions gameplay consisted of level-based gameplay where you would take control of one of the 4 available Spider-Man, each of them with their own unique abilities. You are able to web swing, web zip, wall crawl, and of course use your spider sense. Each of the 4 Spider-Man also have their unique way of fighting, allowing you to upgrade them to do different combos and special moves. There's also many bosses from different dimensions, giving the villains that you already know a different look or a different twist. My personal experience with Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is sadly non-existent. Now, I'm a super fan of Spider-Man. I've said it before, but the GOAT Tobey Maguire introduced me to superheroes and Spidey himself. I watched those movies non-stop, and even to this day, I rewatch the original trilogy once a year. Now, due to my love for Spider-Man, I always wanted to play any game revolving around him, but sometimes as a kid, you can't have every game you want, and sadly, this was one of those games that I never got my hands on, even though I always wanted to. And to wrap this up, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is one of the all-time great Spider-Man games that many of you grew up on and many of you played endlessly. And in some ways, it introduced the Spider-Verse into the comic world, as the game was written by Marvel veteran Dan Slott, who would go on to write the Spider-Verse storyline for the comics, which would then inspire the Spider-Verse films. So I would say that Shattered Dimensions walked so that Spider-Verse could run. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure if the game counts as a retro game yet. However, it was released 14 years ago. But I know that I really wanted to do it. Once again, if you have any suggestions on which games you would like to see featured in our next episode, please let me know down in the comments below.